Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
All right, in this video, I'm going to share with you an incident that took place in one of my WhatsApp groups. And my request to the members who will be watching this video, please do not mention the guy's name, and please do not harass him either below this video or in the group. I request you don't harass him, because there is a learning opportunity here which I believe can help many people, and that is the reason I'm sharing this. It's not to take revenge, it's not for him to feel bad, it's not to shame him, but remember, it's a learning experience. So please take it in that way. And for the members of my group, I will take it very seriously. And if you try to harass him, or if you publicly shame him, you want to give comments about the particular behavior pattern, or comment on what I've stated, fine, I can understand. Okay, that you can do, but don't put his name, and don't harass him in the group. Whatever you have to say it here, but keep in mind, focus on the larger picture. Okay, having said that, let's start the video. Okay, now I have these multiple WhatsApp groups which I've created, for business, or for bodybuilding, or for technology, or general groups. And there are different levels to it. And then there are these private groups which I have, which are highly restricted. Okay. So, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in these groups. Sometimes good, sometimes ugly, sometimes boring. So if anyone joins new, they will join just the first sandbox group. And from there, I choose and decide where they have to go. Okay. So this one particular member in my group, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He has come up the hard way. Okay. He's from India, and he has come up the hard way. He is a blue collar, mechanic, technician, that kind of guy. And he worked in the sun, and he has really suffered and all that. Okay. And then he went to Dubai. Okay. There also, blue collar work, he had a tough time, he suffered, he endured a lot of challenges, but he kept his goal in mind, and his goal was to move to Canada. Okay, he finally moved to Canada. Okay, now that he moved to Canada, now, obviously, when you compare India's environment to UAE's environment to Canada's environment, three different, no? It's very different. The weather is different. The population is different. The number of people who are there are different. The rules are different. The pay scale is different. So, quite different. And if you compare for a low-level worker, someone who works in the sun, someone who works, let's say, in the heat of Dubai, 50 degrees, you work 14 hours in the sun, fixing stuff, and you don't get paid salaries on time and all that. And from there, you go to a country that pays you minimum wage, and it's a cool climate, and you have to work fixed hours, and you get so many benefits, insurance and health benefits, and you're treated like, labor, dignity of labor in the Western countries, where even a CEO and even a worker, they're considered same. So, of course, it's like a breath of fresh air. Okay. So, I have a lot of respect for this guy for achieving what he has done from India to UAE to Canada, all in a very short span of time. Huh? He's still young. He's still in his 30s. Okay. However, because of the bitterness and the pain and the suffering that he endured in India when he started his career as like a laborer, And then he went to Dubai, and there's a racist place especially if you're a worker, laborer, and some of the employers, they treat you like shit. I'm not in the corporate world. I mean, racism it exists everywhere. Let's face it, but in some places it's explicitly more in your face than some other place. Like India, it's very much in your face. UAE is even more worse. The Middle East countries even more worse, especially if you have power, or if you are a white skin, or if you're Emirati and you come from Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or Africa, and you have money, you can get away with a lot of things. But in the West, there are certain rules. You can't do it in your face. They do it, but they don't do it very much in your face. And if you do it, there's a price to pay. Okay, there are laws. So he is in a very happy place right now. He's in a very happy place. But then, because of that bitterness that he has experienced, he has this thing where he speaks, Indians are like this, or, India is so, crap. And I understand where it's coming from. Okay. However, because of that pain, because of that suffering, you can't have an attitude of, I'm better than you, or I'm more successful than you, or like, there are some people who think after they go to Canada and they get a Canadian passport, I'm a Canadian. No, Baba, you're a fucking whatever. Let's say, for example, 40 years you were in India with a Indian accent, Indian face, Indian mannerisms, Indian behavior. You get a Gora passport in 5 years. Hi, I'm Canadian. By putting a fake accent, you don't become a Canadian. Your brown face, I'm an Indian passport holder. I am an Indian passport holder. Even though I have these tattoos, okay, maybe people can't figure out where I'm from. But the minute I open my mouth and talk, if someone has traveled to India, they'll say, you're Indian, right? Like I got this foreigner who was a preacher. She and her husband, they are in their 60s, 65, 70s. And they came to the restaurant, and I was very polite and courteous with everyone. And they were very intrigued with my dad, young man, And they were preachers. And they're like, and the minute I opened my mouth, you're from India, right? I said, yeah, I'm an Indian passport holder. But I told them I was born and raised in, UAE, but Indian all the way, because my parents are Indians, everyone's Indian. I still hold an Indian passport. My friends are Indians. Yeah, your accent is very much there. And I was not ashamed about it. I was not like, Indian. No. I told her the reality. I have been in Dubai all these years. I've been to India for a couple of years, here and there, where I am aware of what is India. I am aware of the places. Like I stayed during the Gulf War for nearly 8 months to a year. I stayed in Mumbai. Okay, I lived there. I've been almost a year and a half when I was in Mangalore. I've seen poverty. So it's not that I have just read about India in the book, but I've been there. And I can assure you this, I'm never ashamed of my roots. If anyone says you're Indian, no, I don't say no, I'm, sorry, man, sorry. I am from United Arab Emirates, all right? There are some people, I don't know, when the minute they go abroad, they put on the, hi, my name is Kuljit Singh. By the way, I'm from UK. I'm from the UK. Yeah, in 1 year or 2 years, your accent suddenly changes. Like I tell people, no, if you're a donkey, no matter how much you scrub and wash, you don't become a horse. Just by getting a passport, okay, legally you are Canadian, but you look like an Indian, you sound like an Indian, you act like an Indian, you eat like an Indian, your values are Indian. Then what Canadian you're talking about here? You can fool the people and say, I'm Canadian. Don't be ashamed of your roots. See, and I know over here you might jump on me and say, oh, then you are talking bad about India. If I speak bad about rape, I've told you this hundreds of times. If rape takes place and I speak bad about rapes, does that mean I'm anti-national or anti-Indian? Rape, is it good or bad? Oh, rape takes place everywhere. I don't care rape takes place in Iceland and Uganda and one part of Eastern Europe or some parts of China, just as you don't know and you don't care. I'm concerned about the country I'm from, the problems that the country of my origin or the country I belong to. Like, are you very interested in the politics of, let's say, Seychelles and knowing the GDP? And no, you don't know anything. You're not bothered. You don't even look. We have to focus on what matters to us. So when I speak about rape, corruption, unemployment, health issues, I'm speaking about the country I belong to. The only reason I don't stay there is because I've lived my entire life abroad. I make a very high income, which I would never make if I'm in India. And if I have to go back to India now, I have to restart from zero, just as if I were to migrate to any other country from zero. I don't have any contacts, connections, friends, relatives. I don't know what is happening. It's like, for example, if I take you to a new country, zero, right? Everything you have to restart from. Even in India, if you are staying in one particular place and you just move to a total new, let's say from South India, you move to the north part of India, you go to Calcutta or Kashmir, everything changes. So I think the problem is many people, the minute they get this citizenship, they think they are superior, or they get a white girl. This is also another phenomenon. I got a Gora girl. Okay, and I got a Gora girl, man. Gora. What? But something special? There are 3 breasts, or there are 2 vaginas, or the vagina looks very unique, or it's a talking vagina. What? Human being, no? Same, no? Yes, look only white. Accent is there. Look blonde. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll have to brag. I've done that when I was young. Arm candy. I have this hot babe. Look at her boobs. Look at her ass. Hot. Yeah, but after 2-3 months, someone else is humping her. Someone else's sausage is in her mouth and different parts. And after 2-3 months, maybe 1 year, she's someone else. Same thing can be said about me. So, or let's say you make a lot of money. Oh, very good. You're very rich, man. Some people, when they get money, it goes to their head. Okay, you got $1 million. Okay. How does it benefit me? I gave this example. I've given this example many times. I was working for Citibank, if you know, at the age of 20, as Citibank sales credit cards, credit card salesman. So this client was the restaurant manager at Burj Al Arab. Burj Al Arab was that time just opened. It was mega and very big, and it was talked about in the world. And you can't enter Burj Al Arab unless you pay money in advance or you're invited there. Or you have permission. Obviously, I'm meeting the manager. He was a French guy, Arnaud or something. I'm not too sure. I think his name was Arnaud. So I went to meet him. Obviously, invited me up to the restaurant. Very happy, dream come true. I'd never been there. First time it was. So when I came down, and I have to walk and go because there's no cab that, cabs are not waiting. They wait outside and one cab will come at a time. So I was just waiting for the cab. Lo and behold, Sheikh Mohammed is walking like this. Seriously, huh? Not a joke. He's walking. And I'll tell you, my eyes became 26 years ago. Look at Sheikh Mohammed walking like this. And he's looking at me, and I didn't have tattoos, nothing. Shirt and tie, nice, hair came. I just looked at him walking like that, and he walked. I was so much in shock. I immediately called my mom. That time I has to talk to my mom. Mom, guess who did I see? My mom was working, I think. And she said, who did you see? I saw Sheikh Mohammed. And let me give you a little background about my mom. My mom had come to the UAE in the late 70s, where In the early 70s or late 70s, you could meet with the sheikhs and their wives and their houses. It was very easy to interact with them. And my mother met all the sheikhs of Sharjah, not Dubai, all the sheikhs of Sharjah and Ajman, because that was the area where she used to work. So she knew the sheikh, not the sheikh, the sheikhas, the wives and the relatives, especially the ladies, because she used to teach them exercise and do beautician stuff. She was like a freelancer. Okay, those days, you're talking the 70s, yeah. It was not so modernized as today. And my Indian mother, out of all the things, she used to watch, read books and do her thing. And she was okay. It's for that time. Today's day and age, maybe she would be arrested for uh, illegal practices because the way she was waxing and all that, nothing professional. But she was good for where she is and great achievement. So I was telling my mom, I was meeting her, my mother was least impressed. Like, when I told her that, she was like, so? That was the exact first word. So? I said, Mom, I saw Sheikh Mohammed. So? I was like, what do you mean, so? He said, you got some money? I didn't get any money. Why should I get money? I just saw the Sheikh. You became famous? No. See, sometimes my mother also, no? Nuggets of wisdom. Hey, if you didn't get any money, you didn't become famous. What are you so excited for? You just saw the Sheikh. Everyone sees the Sheikh. I have met the Sheikh and they gave me money for work. Like that, if you tell me, fine. Otherwise, what? At that time, it didn't make sense to me. I think, my mother's crazy. I told my other friends and they were like, wow. But over the years, as I met clients, customers, and some of my clients have actually worked for Sheikh Mohammed's. There's one engineering office. Engineers have worked there and they literally interact. They see the Sheikh coming to, because they work on his house and his farm and his properties. They see Sheikh Mohammed, they see Sheikh Faza. And some of them have even been lucky to take a photograph. And they've shared it with me. My own clients, my own friends. And that was maybe the first time I saw him. It's up close and personal, but I did see him many times after that. I saw his son, Faza. He has come on marathons, running race, and this and that. And but obviously, after my tattoos, the more tattoos I got, the less I had to be in the public eye. But after all this, now in hindsight, when I look back, I also wonder what was so great here. Saw the Sheikh. I felt great, but nobody cared. So in the same way, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you get your passport or you get big money or a big position or a white pussy or you get a Gora husband, you get a rich husband. There are some females when they get a white, some Filipinas and Indians and all that, they only want Australia, USA, or someone with a Western passport. Why? It's bragging rights because they come from the slums. Now they've got a Western passport holder and they're going to the West. It's a big pride. Here in Thailand also, here it's a very big achievement if you have a foreigner and you settle down in a foreign country. Yeah, because the power of the US dollar, British pound, and the minimum wage, the purchasing power. But here's the thing. After you have done that, after you have migrated, after you got the passport or the citizenship or the Gora husband or the Gora wife or whatever, there's still life, right? There are weeks and months and years of life. There are the challenges that you have to face. There are the crosses you have to bear. And as you go through life, eventually that glamour, that blitz, the pride that you have, I have a Gora wife, I have a Gora husband, I have a Gora passport. That thrill goes away, man. I talk to people who have been in Canada for 19 years, 25 years. They say initially it was, wow. Like even USA, they say initially it was like, wow, I got American passport. Hey, I can travel the world. I can. But later on, life just starts throwing challenges at you. You get kids. You get bills to pay, taxes, expenses, job losses, health issues, problems, politics. And there, the reality of life starts hitting you. And then you don't brag about it anymore. See, when I got my tattoo the first time, and photos and people, and when I had a big physique, I used to always show photo. Yeah, I used to do all this. You see my old photo, I do all this. Today, you think I'm doing all this? You think whenever anyone asks me for a photograph, yeah, I do all this? No. If someone, in fact, when people say, can I take a photograph? Yeah, sure. Just stand there. Or sometimes, if I'm in a mood, I'll do something crazy just to keep them happy. But otherwise, in fact, personally speaking, I don't want. I would rather not take a photograph with anyone. Rather not have that crazy attention. Yes, I like to be unique in my own way, but I don't want like crowds of people. My priorities have changed, man. Like once upon a time, big muscles are showing off. Today, who the fuck cares, yeah? Who cares if I have 200, 300 girlfriends? Before I used to brag about 300 plus girlfriends I have and so many books I have. And, I met this VIP, that VIP, and I trained the employees of Google and Samsung and LG. And I went to, visited the offices of IBM and Facebook. And who the fuck cares, yeah? Who cares? See, end of the day now, we try to, we think something big is happening. Because we live in that, it's like a big frog in a small well phenomenon. We feel very great. We want to brag to our. But understand this. There are people who earn more than us. There are people who are more famous than us, more accomplished than us, whose lives are better than us, better quality life, and they don't show off. Just because you have a Gora husband or wife doesn't mean a person who has a non-Gora means their own. Let's say a South Indian has a South Indian wife. Maybe he's much more happier than you, man. Maybe an Indian lady who has an Indian husband, a simple guy. Maybe they have a more loving family. Then, I know a couple of Indians who are abroad and their children don't respect them at all. They say, fuck you on the face. They think they are whites and they live the white culture, smoke, drink, and sex, and age of 15. And they're smoking weed. What the parent can do? And they disrespect their parents because they think, yeah, you are from India. The children themselves. So I'm not discounting the achievements of a person. For some people, going to Canada, USA, Australia, getting the citizenship and the passport is a great achievement. Yes, because it's not easy. And I commend and appreciate that achievement. For some people, yes. But keep in mind, there are a lot more people who have the capacity to get an Australian, American, or Canadian citizenship. They're doing far more better. I'll give you one small example. In Bangkok, when I was there with the business trip with my client, at the Apple store, I met one Indian guy. And he was standing there. I was not paying much attention because I was busy filming. And after I finished, he walked up to me. You're Loy, right? I said, yeah, I'm Loy. And I was wondering, like, who's he? And he's saying, big fan of your work. And I don't agree with everything you're saying on the video, but I love your channel. I watch almost every video. And I was like, hey, very nice. And then he introduced his wife, lovely lady. He's in his 30s. Both are in their 30s. I said, what do you do? You're pretty well articulated and all that. Where are you from? He said, I'm from India. I stay in India. And I can't remember Bombay or where. But I'm an airline pilot. My wife is working in the airline. He mentioned some area of the airline. And we both are pretty well settled in our jobs. And so then I just curiously asked him, What about you guys earn? You don't need to tell me how much you earn, but do you earn enough? He's saying, oh, it's amazing, marvelous. We have just purchased our own house on cash, and we are running a small business at the side, and we are doing this, and very well articulated, very well settled. I asked him, do you want to travel? Absolutely no, yeah, absolutely. India is my country. It's like, and plenty of opportunities for me to grow there. And he was pretty happy. So India is not as a disaster as, some people make it out to be. Because he is educated. He has a personality. He has credentials. He has competence. He has skill. See, not everyone in India is suffering. There are, yes, you might say the 10% or the 1% are ultra rich, 10% are doing very well. But there is a sizable chunk of people who prefer being in India, who don't want to leave India. And there's nothing to be ashamed about your roots. Even though I criticize India for the bad things, or Indians for the bad things, whether it's racism or discrimination or rape or whatever, I'm not ashamed of my roots. If someone says, some people, even people comment, you're fucking Indian. They say, oh, because I sound, yeah, so. So, you're fucking white trash. I mean, we start name calling each other. Where does it end? I can say you're an ass wipe. You don't even know how to clean your fucking ass. You just use tissue, right? We can get personal. It doesn't help. So what I'm trying to make you understand is who you are shouldn't be determined by your passport or the money you make or your fame, or at least on a personal level. Okay, you want to make noise? Like, let's say when I'm as a coach or consultant, when someone approaches me for my services, or I get a 20-year-old or 16-year-old, 13-year-old or 30-year-old wanting to take my advice and, my guidance, and he forgets his plan. Yo, dog, yo. No, you give respect. Like when you talk to a teacher, when you talk to a mentor, when you talk to someone who is accomplished and learned, you respect them. That is why if you meet the president of a country or let's say a high-ranking official, maybe they just got it by luck. But we have to respect that position, that power, that seat. Fine. Oh, there I can understand. Protocol. But when you're talking to a group of friends or you're in a public platform, you can't go around flexing, hey, fuck you, I'm Canadian or I'm American. You're fucking Indians, ha ha ha. And you being an Indian yourself. In fact, one guy kicked him out of my group when he is Indian. He's an Indian. He managed to go to Portugal, get a Portuguese passport because he's Goan. And in my group, he's like, you fucking Indians are smelly dogs. What? He's insulting everyone in the group. Sorry, he mentioned there was an article about Thailand is opening up and allowing Indians to come. And I posted a video and I also gave my views. I said, I request our Indians who are coming there, you carry the burden of the country's image on your shoulders. Please, show decorum and make sure that you represent the country in a nice way, that people look at you and say, wow, okay, they have a good impression about you. So I worded it properly. This guy, fucking Indians smell like dogs and smelly dogs. You are an Indian yourself, man. You were an Indian. Just because you change your passport at the age of 40 or something, you didn't become a Gora, man. Stop it. Sometimes our Indians are the worst, man. Our own Indians, no, are worst. And they take a lot of pride, like being racist to the core, being, I don't know what. Following protocol is one thing. Professional service, okay. Business, one thing. But as a human being, if you think you are better than thou just because of a fucking passport, just because you're earning a little bit extra money or you got a white pussy, like one guy put, hey, I've got a Gora girl in the group. And people are like, so? Who the fuck cares, man? Who did this? Who fucked this pussy before you're fucking her? One of the guys said. And it was funny because what are you trying to brag about, man? So it's I don't know, man. There should be a balance, okay? You look Indian, sound Indian, with that face Indian, and if you meet a couple of, let's say, now you got a Canadian passport at the age of 40 after being, let's say, a hardcore Indian with an Indian accent and Indian look, and you meet a couple of Goras or Canadians in a bar, what are you going to do? Put on an accent? Hi there, my name is Koshi Kuti Korean. Ha ha ha. I'm from Canada. Or what do you? I'm Koshi Kuti Korean. I'm Canadian. Canadian. Canada. What? It's going to be so fucking obvious to these guys that you're an immigrant, man. They came here and got the fucking passport here. It's like these, in UK, you have these guys from Pakistan and Africa, and UK doesn't look like UK anymore. They're like, hi, my name is Abdul Sattar. Or my name is Mohammed Ibrahim. I'm from UK. Or my name is Guzibuzabuzabalulu. I'm from Manchester. Hey, come on, man. See our roots now. We have to be proud. Like if you say Rajkumar, Rajkumar is not like even Rishi Sunak. It's not a British name. You know it, I know it. Harpal Singh is not American. Yes, you have an American passport. Your roots are not, no? So, see, be who you are. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your roots. Be proud of your values. Look at things which are bad and have a critical view on it, whether it's rape or racism or discrimination, fine. But putting other people down to feel good or suddenly assuming that you are what this new document states. Yes, India is not perfect. Totally agree. Yes, India has plenty of bloody problems. I'm not going to say, oh, so are other countries. No, India, let's just focus on it. India has plenty of problems. That doesn't mean, like, that makes you much better just because now you're no longer there. And remember, Canada itself, I know Canadians who are going through a really tough time. Not uneducated Canadians, educated ones. I interact with people here. Come on. So I have nothing against this young man. I genuinely wish him all the best, and I congratulate him from where he was in India to where he reached in Dubai to where he has reached in Canada. Congratulations. I sincerely, heart of hearts, I hope you do very well. If it's your dream to get a Gora girl, I hope you get a Gora girl and you get Gora children and you live a Gora life and you get a Gora accent, everything Gora. Sincerely, I hope you make shitloads of money. You have 3 houses, not 5 houses, because our Indians, they are not, hardcore spendthrift, and you have a perfect family. My only request is for people like him, just don't have the superior attitude. Don't have, I'm better than you because of my fucking Canadian, my white passport, my white wife. Remember, after the honeymoon phase is over now, reality can be a bitch. And sometimes, this is my personal experience. Sometimes, the what we are born with, our lifestyle, our values, our food, people we know. Sometimes that's the best to be with. Because no matter how much I've tried, I'm not I can't get along with I can get along with our Indians, and a bit hard to get along with the Goras. Even today. My own culture, even Thai people, they will never accept me as Thai. It's only our Indians who will accept me as Indian. Even if I have a Thai passport or any passport, I'll get along with only Indians. It's just I'm lucky that I have a very simple wife, very, very simple wife. And I've also sobered down in so many other areas. And we have a mixed Indian Thai baby who's, I am making sure that she blends in and becomes Thai as she's born in Thailand. So she knows Thai as a language, Thai as a culture. She follows Buddhism. So she's going to be as Thai. But for someone like me, nearly in his 50s, going to be in his 50s, I don't think I'm going to be Thai. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And please don't put his name or attack him, but attack this issue, because I feel many people, after they go abroad, they get a white passport or a white spouse or a little bit of money, it just goes to their head. But there's still life, so many challenges. Don't forget that. And never forget your roots. Never be ashamed of your poverty. Never be ashamed of who you are. All right? That's all I want to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Good, bad, ugly. I'd love to hear from you. This is me signing off. You guys take care.